Peace and blessings, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Queen Osset here. Today we are going to do a walkthrough of the Modern Witches Tarot deck. This was an indie deck that was created by Lisa Sterle. Honestly, I don't know a lot about her. It only took one image for me to want to invest in this deck, and you're looking at it. It's the cover of the box. This is the Magician card. So what I had done was, of course, because it was an indie deck, but then I heard that it was going to be mass marketed. And about at the same time, it was launched on Amazon with a pre-order. And I went to Amazon and I pre-ordered it. And then I got an email from Liminal 11 or Lisa Sterle saying that they had some vendor issues with Amazon. They were no longer going to continue with that vendor. And FOMO kicked in. So I went ahead and ordered the indie deck, which was pretty much 3 times, and I'm being conservative, as much as the mass marketed deck. So, you know, when you pay so much money for an independent deck, the expectancy is that you're going to receive said item before it hits the masses. I mean, you're paying for the cachet, you're paying for the extras, you're paying more to have the deck in your hand first. Call it snobbery, call it whatever you want. When I pay a lot for an indie deck, I expect to have it in my hands before it hits the mass market. Anyway, before it hits the masses. So, needless to say, I received my Amazon copy first. And I had watched Bosade over a Kali Sunflower. She did a walkthrough, and, you know, I was in my feelings. I was very angry because I had not received my independent copy of the deck. She had gotten hers, I guess, you know, however that situation was. She got a copy of the deck. Everyone else is still waiting. So as I said, I got my Amazon copy, and I looked through it, and I was not displeased. Then a few weeks later, a huge box arrived, and it was my independent copy. And honestly, there really isn't much of a difference. I'm going to show you just a few things, but no differences within the cards themselves. So this is what the boxes look like. Same image on one side, but then this is what the backs look like. That's the difference. So that's the liminal. This is the independent deck. This is the one that I had received from Amazon, and then we have a difference on that side. So you have here the Hermit and Temperance. I mean, that's the difference. The shading, no big deal. Seriously, I'm not pressed. The imagery on the back of the box, kind of sort of close. I mean, you've got the price mark here, US, Canadian, the skew, and then this is the independent deck with just Liminal 11s, their logo, and here you have the printer, Sterling Ethos. Okay, so those aside, now I will show you the innards of the box. If you can see that, pretty much the same. I did have one issue with the independent deck. When I pulled it out, one of the cards was actually stuck, and so it ripped a little bit. But for the most part, the logo is the same. Just the bottom is different. At least that will help me distinguish which is which. Again, nothing earth-shattering there. The indie deck came with this tin. Let's see, it's about 12 by 6. It's a metal tin. The top is embossed here. Inside looks like that. No compartments. I mean, okay. I really did not want to pay for a metal tin. But then you get a bunch of extras as well. Let's see. Get the spread cloth, which is made from some sort of rubberized plastic, I'm going to say. I should probably turn it this way. This looks to be about 14 by 14. I will probably be giving this away as I don't read on black, and I don't know. I'm not fond of the spread cloth. It comes with this nice pouch, velvet pouch with the engraved, or rather embroidered logo, Modern Witch on there. Do I have it upside down? Can you see it? Yeah. I also got this patch. A postcard here. This is advertising a new deck that's coming out next year. It's supposed to drop. I think it's called the Cosmic Slumber Tarot. My signed card. I am deck number 678 of 1111. And then you get like a liminal 11 brochure catalog, I guess you could say. And in here it reflects all the items that liminal 11 carries, different guidebooks, remedies, herbals. There's a few quite interesting facts in this guidebook. The font is really small, but with a magnifying glass I can read it here. I would say that this is advertising their various decks, more books, catalogs, magazines. It's a cute little book. I rather like it. And you get this, let's see if I can move this out of the way. You get this brooch. Turn it over so you can see that. And you probably can't. Let me see. Can I hold it up so you can see that? It says, "Everything is fine." And the story behind the creation of this deck is that Lisa Sterle, I have a little book here, I think she was a graphic artist. The deck came into being at the creation of this Ten of Swords. So she does say it all started with the Ten of Swords. So we'll get into that in just a minute. Now, both decks have a nice little white book. Even there. Yes. Both have a little white book. Both have the extra card here. You are a badass being full of life, love, and possibilities. Through this deck, may you find a path to your best self. These are extra cards. I suppose you could throw those in as to enhance your readings. Get rid of that. Okay. And there's a Ten of Swords. These two are extra cards in the deck that can be used as what I call possibly wild cards and such. So you're probably wondering, well, what is the difference? Well, I'm going to show you. Let me put that aside. So this is the mass-produced deck. And this is the indie deck. Both glossy, both the same size, not much of a difference, except the indie deck is gilded. That, for the most part, is the only difference. The indie deck is gilded. I think they're cut beautifully. This, of course, looks like it was two separate decks here. You see it's bowing a little bit. No big deal, doesn't bother me whatsoever. Both decks have the same backs. There's no difference in the coloration. And I must say that I'm happy. Okay, I was beefing about not getting the independent deck when I wanted to get the independent deck. Again, that's just something I'm putting out there. You know, I support the artists, and I just want a little something for that support. You know, I'm a patron. But moving into 2020, I think I'm going to be a bit more discerning. If I even catch a whiff that the deck is going to become mass market, I don't think I'm going to back it. I might as well just wait until it hits the masses and then buy it cheaper. I'll just do it that way. You know, you got to put your money where your mouth is. I'm sure that my few dollars will not be missed. So, let's see now. So we'll go ahead and take a look at the cards. Now this deck, for those of you, I know there's some of you who are purists, and you know, you have a thing about modern decks and such. I think it'd be easy for me to get this off. There we go. Okay, so it's the cool thing about having double copies. So in the book, Lisa Sterle says it all started with the Ten of Swords. And she said she was a few years into a dead-end design job that was slowly draining her creativity, her passion for art, and her general faith in humanity. On one particular terrible day, she was feeling her absolute lowest, doubting herself and the path she had taken. She didn't know how to escape her situation, and all options seemed equally terrifying and awful. Through luck or fate, she was somehow reminded of the Ten of Swords. She flipped through her deck, and there she was, staring at this card and feeling it in her bones. She says she made the very first illustration of the Modern Witch Tarot deck that day, when everything is fine was the thing that she had been telling herself for a long time. You know, many of us go through this everything is fine situation. You know, we're going through struggles, we've the most pain that we can endure, heartache, everything across the board, when it just seems like the world is collapsing in on us, and yet somehow or the other we find that little bit of inner strength to just keep moving forward. And our general response is, everything is fine. You can look at the character, she's still on her cell phone. So, the Modern Witch Tarot, I'm a child of, anyway, yeah, I'm older, but this reminds me of the 80s, 70s to 80s to early 90s perhaps. And it's just one of those decks that's quirky, it's fun, it's full of color, and I don't know, I'm really digging it. So we're going to take a look. I'm sure you guys probably seen different walkthroughs of this, but I'm going to do mine. So here we have the Fool. And she looks like a hippie chick, right? Standing on the edge. Now the background is a cityscape. New York? I believe Lisa Sterle is in the UK, but that's a cityscape. And I did hear some people say that they were, a little bothered by the modernity aspect of the deck. But I love it. Okay. This is the deck, this is the card that so many people, I'm going to see, do I need to adjust this? You guys are looking at my finger. There we go. Better, yes. Okay, the Magician, High Priestess with a laptop, I mean, I'm digging the clothing. Let's go back to the Magician here. I'm digging the vibe. Afro puffs. This is a sister. This is a woman. This is me. This is my cousins, my mother. This is anybody that I know. You know, I always say that I'm not looking for a deck to represent me, but it's refreshing when I can actually see an aspect of myself within a deck. This is the world that I live in. I want to see a deck that's inclusive. So that's the Magician. As I said, the High Priestess is there. Okay. I mean, I'm loving the boots. I'm a fashionable card slinger, you know. Fashion is my other love. I'm going to figure out how to tie these two loves together. I just love everything about this. I have an idea to make that cape. Okay, the Empress. I mean, she's not pregnant. She's sexy as hell. She's in full control. I could see myself wearing that dress. I mean, oh my gosh. Yes, yes. The Emperor. Ambiguous. Not sure. Very comfortable holding the Ankh. I love it. Hierophant. Again. Female. Tattoos. I should have a little something here. Anyway. Bare feet on the ground. The Lovers. My angel is blue. The Chariot. Strength. That's my birth card. But of course, Hermit. Disengaging from the outside world. Shutting down the laptop. Or is she opening the laptop? Lisa says here about the Hermit. Through solitude, we can discover new things about ourselves. The Hermit has shrugged off material and superficial concerns and distractions and has retreated to an inner sanctum. She's taken a break from the outside world to focus on herself. The glowing star is the guiding light of her unconscious mind and a pathway to a breakthrough. The laptop is the support of learned wisdom and knowledge to help her along her journey. It can also be a special skill that helps the Hermit cope with being alone. It's okay to be alone. Silence and meditation can help you explore your own inner worlds and lead you to new places. There's so many constant distractions that can keep you from focusing on your own self-care. From social media to job stresses to FOMO, that's fear of missing out. It's time to take a break from it all, to retreat to a place that makes you feel safe with the goal of improving yourself. Don't ignore your own mental well-being, and if you need a teacher, a guide, or a therapist to help you along the way, that's okay. Don't be afraid to be alone. Wheel of Fortune. Putting things back in order. Oh, did I bypass some cards? No. Did I have a, you guys take a look at the Chariot card? It's a motorcycle. We'll get back to that in a second. guess I was just so excited. 6, 7. Strength, Hermit, Wheel of Fortune, Justice, the Hanged One, Death, Temperance, the Devil, we have the Tower. She's been impaled. The end is done. I mean, the end has come for her. You know, many of us can't survive the Tower, and unfortunately some of us do not survive the essence, the feeling, the experience of the Tower. Sometimes the Tower is the finality, and it's even more earth-shattering than the experience of the Death card. But then you have the Star. And the Moon. Very modern deck with the Star card. They're wearing masks. And there's another deck that I saw on the Moon card where people are wearing masks of the canines. Do you see what's coming up out of the murky waters? Shadow self. Yes? Okay, so I know many of us talk about a creepy baby on the Sun card. I'm not really sure. Okay, so this is not a creepy baby. This is a creepy child, toddler age. I don't know what's going on with the teeth there, but yeah, anyway, Judgment. Now, when I first looked at this, I was reminded of something that Killmonger had said, that I would rather die a free man than live as a slave. And I just thought about all of my ancestors who gave their life to the ocean. I mean, I work with many variations of the RWS deck, but I don't know, seeing this iteration of it really just brought that memory to my mind. The World card. Now, I think, how am I going to do this? I think I'm going to try and show you all the suits, numbered suits together. Let me put this there. Let's separate the aces. Here we are. Okay, so that's the majors. Oh, yeah, major arcana. So now we have the aces. So cups, ace of wands, ace of swords. You can still see everything. Put that out of the way. And the ace of coins. Okay. I don't know. I've never been one to wear black nail polish. I mean, I think that would be too much, my nails. But, okay. You know, I'm digging it. I still like it. It's okay. So we have the Two of Cups, Wands, and yes, they're out of elemental order, but I don't care. Let's see. That card. I mean, seriously, that's fantastic. That card. That one does it for me. This one does it for me as well. I'm loving it. But that card, I need that in an art print. And you all know why. Okay, so now, let's get to the Three of Cups. Swords. Three of Wands. And the Three of Pentacles. Okay. Look at that. This reminds me of the festival. There's a kind of an art, hair, body festival that takes place in New York. And it reminds me of a festival that my niece attends. Actually, this figure reminds me of my niece. I like this. I actually can dig this Three of Swords. Are we releasing the pain that might be held? And I most definitely can appreciate this Three of Pentacles. Wands, Pentacles, Four of Swords. Okay. Over it. I love it. Is that a petulant teenager? Just not happy or satisfied with anything, huh? Here we're taking a break from the city to enjoy, I don't know, I'm seeing Central Park. This Four of Swords, this is the reality for most of us. You know, the bed, I just want to be alone. Even though it's nice and sunny outside, I don't want to participate. I don't want to do anything. And then this Four of Pentacles. I'm getting the vibe or the energy of this person being resourceful, you know, checking everything they have. Spend a little, save a little, you know, just checking to make sure that I have all of my bases covered before I go above and beyond. Okay, let's see now. Five of Cups. Swords. Wands. Five of Pentacles. It may almost time for me to move these piles aside. No big deal. This Five of Cups. Okay. That bridge. Verrazano Bridge, George Washington Bridge, it's just something. And can I tell you, I'm loving the style of that coat. I'm going to make one of those coats. I have fabric to do that. I'm going to make that coat. And then we have, I think this is sparring with your peers, but you got someone here who's wearing a face mask. I always like to say this is sparing. It could be, you know, inconveniences. It could be some disruption, a bit of chaos. But they're not hitting each other, and that's the thing that seems to be most important to me. Sometimes we get complacent and we need this energy to shake things up. This Five of Swords. I don't know. Is it winning at all costs? Maybe. Maybe this person, they seem to be a bit more mature. Someone had to make a decision to say, you know, we're not going to do this. Someone perhaps someone had to step in as the intermediary. And then, of course, here we have loss. I'm happy not to see a man on a crutch. But, yeah. Okay. Six of Cups. Swords. Pentacles. Wands. Give me a minute. Okay. Look at that. This is one generation to the next. I mean, look at that. I love that. Bantu knots. Victory celebration. Yes, I love everything about this card. That, oh my gosh. Yes, that card right there. I need an art print of that. And this one, you know, usually on the Six of Swords, there's a child with the person. You don't know who is ferrying. Doesn't matter if it's male or female, does it? I guess you could say, most of us would say it's probably female. We've got the bow in the hair, long hair anyway. Who knows? Doesn't matter to me. I'm not really caught up on gender and such. But this card, to me, this is so Oprah Winfrey. You get a car, you get a car, you get a car. You're going to get a lump of coal. But I do love this. I need an art print of that too. That is a fabulous looking card. Fabulous. Okay, so let me move these out of the way. So we take a look at the sevens. Okay. Wands, cups, swords, and pentacles. There you go. This is how most of us do what we need to do. Short skirt and high heels. That's my reality. This is how we usually get things done. I don't feel a sneaky getting away sort of energy with this. This female had a plan in mind. She needed to do what she needed to do to get what was needed. And so she dressed appropriately. I know, you tarotistas, I know you're purists and it's not about fashion for you, but for me, it is about fashion. This deck makes me happy. It makes me happy. Swords, pence, and wands. Now this motorcyclist, I would say, looks like my cyclist from the Chariot card. And this Eight of Cups, you know, she's, well, we know, Eight of Cups, moving forward, not emotionally satisfied, seeking something better. She's packed light to go on the next leg of her journey. And this one, well, we know what that is. Eight of Swords. And then the Eight of Pentacles here, putting in the work, honing your skill, do what you need to do. She's comfortable. She's at home. Okay. My Nine of Swords. My Nine of Pentacles. Wands and my Nine of Cups. All right. So this is the card that made me think of the 80s and the 90s. You know, Olivia Newton-John, Let's Get Physical. I mean, telling you, you know, we don't wear shorts like that anymore. This is very Madonna-esque, and I love it, you know. Like a version, you know, everything. I just loved everything about that Nine of Cups. Like, yes, I this is all mine. I've worked for this. You know, I get what I want by putting in the work, and I look damn fabulous doing it. A wish and a prayer without any work is just nothing, you know. So there's nothing wrong with being satisfied because you've done the work, you put in the effort. Nothing wrong with looking back on all the work that you have done and taking glory in that. And that's what I feel the Nine of Cups is. This Nine of Swords, yeah, many of us have been there, you know. Many of us have been in this place. And then the Nine of Pentacles. There used to be a city garden. This is what this place reminds me of. It's unfortunate that we don't have too many places like that anymore. Okay. Ten of Cups. Ten of Swords. Ten of Pentacles. And your Ten of Wands. Okay. Yeah. There isn't a mother alive who cannot relate to this. Overwhelmed, overburdened, you know, and it seems like she's leaving, I don't know, the desert where things are desolate and trying to move into what I call the city area. Maybe she's given up her comfortable life, her place of comfort, to move into or go into or be part of what we call the city, so that she can, you know, possibly make money. I'm just stretching here. I'm just having fun with this deck. And I love this. Your family is who you make your family out to be. I'm loving this card. This is the ultimate in happiness for me. And yes, the Ten of Swords. You keep moving on in spite of being weighed down, torn apart, backstabbed, overwhelmed. And then we have my legacy card. I call this my legacy card, my ancestor card, my Wall Street card. This is many generations of a family. It's a modern family. It's a mixed family. It seems to be a family that is made up of several different cultures, and for that I do appreciate it. So I'm going to wrap up soon. Let's take a look at the court cards. Page of Wands, Page of Cups, Swords and Pentacles. Not much to say, pretty much the same. On a boardwalk there. Okay. Cups, swords, pens. Unites. I mean, look at that. I never know about janky. Okay. Well, you get the gist of it. And then we have the Queens, Cups, Swords, Queen of Pentacles, and the Queen of Wands. What I appreciated about this Queen of Wands, she has, is it vitiligo? This Queen of Cups. Mermaid. It's Queen of Swords. I mean, she's corseted. Look at the boots. They're fabulous, darling. Fabulous. The butterfly. And, I mean, the Queen of Pentacles. Is that gorgeous or what? Yes. Yes. Okay, now we have the King of Cups, King of Swords, King of Pentacles, and the King of Wands. You know, energetically, the queens seem more powerful to me than the kings. I'll pull those aside and put them together. Pentacles, Wands, Cups. What am I missing? Wands, Cups. Oh, I'm missing the Swords. Okay. So that's a pair. That's another pair. Yeah, energetically, to me, it seems like the queens have more power, more zest, more vibe than the kings. Now, we know this is not gender specific. So I would say this is probably a more feminine deck. It's more female oriented. I don't know. Maybe it's balanced, maybe it's not. I really don't care. Let's see, I just have to distinguish which is which here now. Okay, that and that. So within the guidebook, on one of the papers that I had received with my deck number, there was also a spread on the back. And the book has a number of spreads as well. Let's see, it does. So we have the 1-card spread, 4-card, past, present, future advice, which is actually something I prefer, positive, negative, result advice. And then we have the 4 powers here. And then we have the cunning path. And then we have this one, the golden spiral spread. So that's 1, 2, and then we have this one, the inner wheel. So this looks more to be like Wheel of the Year spread. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spreads, 6 spreads, all compact in this little tiny book. I I haven't shuffled her, so let's give her a quick shuffle and then we'll get off. Right. So this is the mass marketed. The cardstock is it's a little stiff. If you have issues with your hands, you will have issues with this, shuffling this deck. The cardstock is thick, not as thick as some other independent decks, but still, nevertheless, not as thin as like Llewellyn cardstock or the Hay House version of the Lightseers. So I had to break this up into 3 piles to be able to shuffle it. I cannot shuffle it. Let's see, I'm going to shuffle it in portions again. Let's see what else I can do. Maybe in time it will loosen up. I don't think so. I mean, the cardstock is really great if you like a good dense cardstock. Again, it's not overwhelmingly so. It's just that I have it's painful for me to shuffle. It takes a lot of work for me to do this. Ooh. You can hear it actually. So make sure this gets a good shuffle. That was not good, but it's going to have to do. Let's take a look and see. Past, made that investment. Present, waiting for our ships to come in. We've made that investment. Now we just have to wait for things to come in. Future, have to make some decisions. What are the decisions? The advice. Interesting. That's the underlying energy there, the Emperor. So, in the past, let's see, we made investment. Wise investments, took care of our investments. Now, because we did that, we just have to wait for those investments to pay off. Wait for our ships to come in, yes, so that we can get to the next level of growth and expansion. But when they come in, when the ships come in, we're going to be put into a place where we have to make a decision, make a choice. What is it that we really want to do now? So it's almost like getting that bonus check. You know, holiday time, you put the work in, you get that bonus check. Now you get to decide what is it that you want to do with that bonus check. You can invest it, reinvest it, wait for the returns to come in. You could be a bit more discerning about what it is that you want to do moving forward. But you are actually advised to take your time. Be discerning. There is no rush. Whatever you decide to do, know that you're the one that's in charge of what it is you want to create, have in your life. You set the boundaries. You set the rules. You will be the one to get things done. So after some time of contemplation, we get going. Let me know your thoughts and I will be back a bit later. So there you have it. It's the Modern Witches Tarot deck. Let's see if I can get the box and the guidebook. Let me know what you think of this deck, and I will talk to you later. Take care.